In this video, I'm going to be giving you my tips to choose an OB-GYN that is right for you. Hello everybody, my name is Jeanette Gennaro. I'm a personal trainer and mother of 2, soon to be 3. In my channel, I help you strip your lifestyle so you can live well in every area of your life. For this series, I am documenting my 3rd pregnancy, and each week I'm giving you different tips and I'm recapping what that week was like for me regarding my physical activity, my diet, and just my overall symptoms. So let's get right into it. This is week 9 of my pregnancy, and this week marks the change from the embryo turning into a fetus. The fertility clinic that we worked with, they discharged us at week 6. A couple days after that, though, is when I experienced the threatened miscarriage, which I mentioned in the week 6 video. So I didn't have anyone else to reach out to at that time. So I reached out to them, and they were the ones that guided me through that process. Upon my discharge instructions, they told me that around week 9 and 10 to go ahead and schedule an appointment with an OB-GYN. I already had one picked out from the 2nd pregnancy. I was very happy with my experience with them, so I chose to go with them again. So that was very easy for me. But if this is your first pregnancy, or you weren't really happy with your experience with your OB-GYN or OB-GYN group in a previous pregnancy and you want to change, well, here are some tips for how to find the perfect OB-GYN for you. If you have healthcare coverage, obviously your first step is going to be to reach out to them. Either give them a phone call or visit their website and see if there's a way for you to search for doctors that are within your network. Once you have that information, it may be overwhelming to see a list of doctors and not even know where to begin. So a way to narrow it down is look at the hospitals that they have access to and narrow your choices from there. You can either pick a hospital that is close to you or pick a hospital that is able to give you the experience that you're looking for. This is probably the most important question that you have to ask yourself. Think about what type of birth experience you want to have. There's a huge caveat attached to this. Even though it is very important to, recognize what type of birth experience you want to have, you also need to allow yourself to be open to whatever life brings. Yes, there's something very powerful about being able to take charge and know what it is that you want. And that is great because it gives you a really good direction to take steps towards. But I just don't want you in the moment when something changes for you to be thrown off guard. So visualize what it is that you want, take steps towards it, but understand that giving birth is different for every woman, and it's okay if it doesn't happen exactly how you planned out. So yes, be flexible to what life throws at you, but let's go ahead and think about ideally what it is that you would want. Your ideal birth scenario may be a pre-scheduled C-section, or the birth that you have in mind means there will be no induction of the labor, no drugs, and everything completely natural. Guess what? There's no right or wrong answer. It's your body, it's your moment, and you need to own it. So you have to find a doctor that's going to align with what it is that you want. There are some doctors that will not do elective C-sections. So if that is what you want, then you have to make sure that you voice this from the beginning when you go in for the interview, or even if you have your first 2 appointments and you feel, oh, wait a minute, they're not willing to do that, you can go ahead and discuss your concerns, discuss why it is that you want to do that, hear them out, and if you guys still aren't on the same page, go ahead and switch. There is nothing wrong with switching doctors. Also, your doctor may go ahead and support you. He or she may say that they support you with doing everything naturally, but the hospital that they work with, they may be very much by the book, where you have to be laying on a bed monitored all the time. That's actually what happened to me in my first delivery. The doctor was very supportive. He said, as long as I arrive to the hospital 5 centimeters dilated, he sees no problem with things going naturally. The problem is that the hospital that he worked with, they just had me be on the bed. I couldn't walk around. I couldn't, do anything. And that was not quite the experience that I was hoping for. So for my second pregnancy, I just looked around at what the different hospitals in my area, what their protocol is like. And I found that there was one that's much more relaxed. Now, they're much more relaxed as long as your doctor gives them the okay. So I found a doctor within my network that has access to that hospital, and I reached out to them and I let them know the type of experience that I want. And they told me, no problem, we can let the hospital know and they'll pretty much leave you alone. As long as everything is going well, they'll leave you alone. And that's exactly what happened. I didn't have to be attached to a monitor. I checked into the hospital, but they still allowed me to go outside. There was a beautiful lake near the hospital, on the hospital grounds rather, and I was able to have, early labor walking around that lake, as long as I was coming back every 30 minutes or so for them to monitor the baby. I wasn't attached to an IV, so it was exactly the experience I wanted. They even had like a birthing ball in the room, whereas the other hospital, that was like a no-no. They were very afraid, the first hospital was very afraid of getting sued. So, the mother had to be on the bed, no walking around, nothing whatsoever. So again, that's why I tell you, look at the hospital, because yes, the doctor may be able to be okay with it, but that hospital might not be able to accommodate your needs. Do not ask around for recommendations from your friends and from your family for their OB-GYN. Why? Because the experience that they wanted might not be what it is that you are looking for. So unless that doctor aligns with your needs and your wants, it doesn't matter how good your friends and family's experience was with that doctor, you may not have the same experience because it's not what you want. Now, if this friend or family member is on the same mindset as you with the type of birth that you want, then perfect. Then in that case, that would be a good recommendation. And last but not least, go ahead and verify the doctor's credentials by searching for them in your state's Department of Health website. You can search for their board certification, for their license, and making sure that there's nothing sketchy that you may not know of otherwise. So now let's talk a little bit about my personal experience with my diet and exercise for this week. I have been feeling very dizzy and very nauseated. In my previous pregnancy, week 9 was the absolute worst. And I can't really say that this week has been the worst, because week 7 I did have a little gastrointestinal issue, which I still don't know if that was pregnancy related or if it was, some kind of a stomach virus. But either way, it's still pretty intense, the nausea and dizziness. So the thought of going outside for a walk seems absolutely impossible. So I'm keeping myself active I'm a personal trainer, so I train clients via FaceTime. We're in a pandemic right now. My clients really aren't wanting to be face-to-face, so we train online. I also focus on stretching because, I feel like I'm spending a lot of time laying down on the couch thanks to the dizziness and the nausea. So I feel like that lack of movement is making my body get tighter. So even if I don't feel like having light activity that day. At the very least, I stretch. Very simple stretches. In fact, I have a video of 5 stretches that you should be doing every day, pregnant or not. These are stretches everybody at every stage of their life should be doing. And those are the stretches that I do. I'll go ahead and link it in the description below. As far as nutrition goes, I make sure that I include a nice variety of foods, proteins and complex carbs and healthy fats. So for example, I have oatmeal with chia seeds. That way I get a good complex carb, and then the chia seeds provide a nice healthy fat source of omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids. I don't feel like I'm necessarily eating a lot more just yet. I am eating more frequently, but the meals are, rather small. I'm not a big snacker, but just today I asked my husband to please order some cereal because I just want like a little something to help ease the nausea, and that sits really well with me. So again, I don't feel like I'm eating a whole lot more than I usually do, but I'm definitely eating more frequently throughout the day. So let me know in the comments below what the 9th week of your pregnancy has been like, and I'm so excited to have you guys join me on this journey so we can discuss what's similar, what's different, and just share tips on how to make this amazing time the best it could be. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Bye.